welcome you all for DFI webinar, and the topic for today's webinar session is DFInsight. I would be demonstrating how to use DFInsight feature within ZTPFGI. So for demonstration purpose, I have connected to the lab. At the very top, you can see that I'm connected to a lab, VP ZTPS 9. And I also have the load set ready in this lab, and I have logged our demonstration code. And I would show you how to access DFInsight now. So before proceeding, I would like to say you what is DFInsight. So DFInsight is used in ZTPFGI for viewing databases, inspect databases, and edit those databases records for testing the developer's code. Let me connect back as there is no activity. We have dropped the connection. Being connected. Yes, now the lab is connected, and we see the load set active. And let me lock it in a source view. And I am locking the program called DFSA, which is our test code for demonstration purpose. Yes, I see it's locked now. And I would quickly create an ECB to stop the control of this program. Yes, now I see the control has been stopped at DFSA program. And if we to launch DFInsight, there are two ways to launch the DFInsight window. Now, when we are on the source view trace, we see the debug tab is active. And in the debug tab, if we look at the right top, we see a DFInsight option. So doing a single click on it, you would get a DFInsight window. At this point, it says no databases open. It's obvious because we haven't accessed any database at this point, and we are at the starting point in the code. Let me close it back, and then I would go to an ECB window, and I'll show you the other way how to access DFInsight window. So when we click on ECB, it's getting loaded. And when we have the ECB window active, and if we look at the bottom tab or the tray, we see an option called DFInsight. So these are the two ways one can access the DFInsight when we are in the trace. Just do a single click. Again, it brings the same, but it's a different options from where you can access. You can access from the ECB window, and you can access from the debug tab as well, right? So now let me close the ECB window, and then we will go through the steps in the source view trace. I'm switching back to the debug tab, and for demonstration purpose, I have set the breakpoints so that it will be convenient to show you the DFInsight window. If we look at the code, I have set some breakpoints for our convenience. Okay, scrolling back to the top. I would use run option to go to the next breakpoint where I have set. And we have seen that there are no databases open at this time. Let me close it. I would click on run. Yes, it just stopped on DB open macro. And let me open it again. There are no databases open. Having it open, let me click on step into. Let's see what happens. Yes. Now if we see at the DFInsight window, we see one record has been opened. Before explaining that, here if we see there are two panes in the DFInsight window. One is the left pane, which shows the preview of the databases. And on the right side, it gives the detailed orientation of that particular record. Okay. So to go into the detail, let's step a few more and we'll talk about that. Now we have got two records. One is GR225SR and the second one is GR28SR. Here we see a small green arrow left to the GR28SR. That says that this database record is active. It's a current active. And we see four columns here: name, user, data, space. And here at the right side, we see user at this time. It says what is active file reference. It says GR25SR. And we see the user address, and we see the user size, and the last command which has been executed, which is open, and a couple other user details like prime block, current block, right? And let us step a few more. I can use run to go to my next breakpoint. Let me step here. So we are going to do db read. Let's see what happens. Now if you see, after db read, we have got a data. So the data can be accessed just by doing a double click on the data. You see the small grid table. So that is why you get the data tab here. If we look at the DFInsight, we see the data. And here it displays all the LRECs. If we see to the left of the displacement, the first column is displacement, and we see the key and we see the respective data. The small green arrow says that it is the current active LREC. Okay, let's step one more. And now you would have observed that from the previous LREC, it has jumped to the next LREC. So it says as that the current LREC is active at the second row, which is at the displacement 22. Okay. And what is this pencil mark? So when we see the pencil mark, we are trying to edit that LREC. Say for example, I want to edit the first row in the LREC display. The corresponding data is being shown at the bottom. This LREC view is split up into two panes. At the top, we see all the LRECs in the table format, and the bottom, if you see, we have a data item. So the data item is nothing but the corresponding values of the LREC where we are placing. I think you can notice when I'm clicking on the different LRECs, the data item in the bottom pane is being changed. So if I want to edit this LREC at the displacement 22, for test purpose, I can edit, and then I can simply click on apply. The changes would be applied. Okay, let me step to the next line and see what's happening. And now we see we have done one more DB read for the same records, and then it's moving to the next LREC. Let me go to the next breakpoint. And here we are doing DB close. And let us observe on the left pane, we have two records at this time. And let us see what happens after executing DB close. Let me do step into. Now we can clearly see that one record has been closed, which is GR2 5SR. Okay. Yes. Now, if you see, we also have user data and also space. What does this space do? When do we click on that? It just have the data just 40 in the hex, and it can be used as a work area for our testing purpose, and we can edit that. And we can edit as per our test requirements, and then just click on enter. It would be saved, and then we can continue with our testing. So the DB close has been done. And now if we look at the ALC window, we have just given some WTOPSy saying its process has been complete. It's for, again, demonstration purpose. And let me exit this ECBs. Sorry, it's already done. Let me create an ECB again, and then I'll show you different things in the DFInsight window. Yeah, I'm bringing up DFInsight again. Yeah, when we have SUSER, on the SUSER tab, we also have something called View Full SUSER Panel. When we click on that, this is a new feature in this upcoming ZTPF GI release. The current GI, what you are using it right now, may not be having this, but it will be promoted to all users as soon as possible. So here we have standard panel on the left side. This is which we have been seeing so far, and this is something, a new feature we added into the DFInsight. And we have two tabs here. I'm just navigating from one to other just for your convenience. So here we have all the SUSER related file records. It says put 9 in the brackets next to the SUSER. I'll tell you what is that. I'm navigating to the System tab, and here we see overlay panels. I'm just clicking on the drop down, and you see here the very bottom line. It is highlighted with orange color. The SUSER in the bracket, it says put 9. So the ZTPF GI is good enough to notice or to apply which panel on an automatic basis. Currently, it is applying SUSER panel for the put 9. And we also have something called panel spark. Let me click on that, and I'll show you what we can edit there. So here, based on the user preference, we can edit which panel should be applied. Let me edit as put 10, and then I would click OK. Then to get it refreshed, all I would do is close this panel, and then let me bring it up again. View full SUSER panel. Now if we notice, earlier it was put 9, and now if we see in the bracket it says put 10, because I have customized this while I was tracing. So similarly, we can do as per your testing. So I would close it. And for the user address, we can do a right click. It has an option copy, select all, export selection. When we do export selection, it just brings up the core block window. And if it is a file address, okay. And here we have added copy options. Earlier it was not there. That's something which we added newly. We can select, and then we can either do select all, or you can use shift and then select the range, and then you can copy it, and then you can simply paste it to Notepad. It separates with a comma. And let me bring view user panel one more time. Here, even in the user panel, the full user panel, you have an options to copy, edit. So having the cursor at the top left, the very left, towards your left, if you just do a single click, the full line copy, and then having shift, and then doing one more. Sorry, you have to drag your mouse, having your cursor at the left, and then it can be copied. Copy, and then you can paste it to any of the editors. It just copies the exact format what we have seen in the user panel. And you can also do search function here. You can actually do a search. If you do Control F, we see a small tab kind of thing is enabled at the bottom. And let me drag it to make it bigger. And now if you see, an option called label is enabled. If you want to search anything at the label level, you can check that, and then you can type in. Let me type for a word called highest, and then let me search. Do an enter, and then you can navigate using these arrows at the bottom, or the previous arrow, or the next arrow, based on the requirement what we are doing at the testing. Okay, and when I expand this plus mark, we can also find the text, and the same way, once we find, we can also replace with the desired word or the desired characters. We have replace all option. Okay, I'm closing this, and now let me go to the data. Here we have displacement, size, key, and data. You can actually sort this as per the user's choice. When I do a single click on the header which says DSP, you can sort as per the choice. Like if I'm interested in ascending order or descending order, I can simply click on the arrow what we see there. It changes. Okay, now from the last row, I see it as displacement 83. Let me click on the arrow and see what it does. Yeah, now the 83 displacement is being placed at the top. So similarly, you can do for size, key, and also for data. And it's not only just the ascending order or descending order, we also have filter option here. So let me do the filter option for key and see what happens. There's a small filter kind of icon here. Just do a single click on it, and you would see a small window like this. And if I'm interested only to see the key 10 and 30, I would just select them, and now I will be seeing only 10 and 30. I don't see the key 20 here. Or if I want to see only 20, I just selected 20 and I'm seeing only one LREX here with the key value 20. So it applies for, you can apply for all, like size, displacement, and also you can do for data. Okay, let me have everything, or I will select simply all, and now I see all the data here, I mean all the LREX. And if we observe here, as I mentioned earlier, whatever the LREC you are highlighting, the corresponding data is shown in the data item at the bottom. And now we have added a new tab called Overlay. Let me click on it and see what is there. So the overlay displays all the LRECs and its corresponding data here. If you look at here, one LREC we are highlighting, and then we are seeing the data one at a time. Whereas we see all the LRECs and its corresponding data. We have displacement, we have size and its key value and its respective data. So the user have a choice to browse or look at his LRECs in a single view. So also do a right click, select all, and now you have an option to copy, and you can actually copy to any of your editors. And it displays the same as what we see in the overlay tab. Yeah, any questions so far? Yeah, I'm pretty much done with the DFInsight feature. So if you have any questions.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
The display that you're seeing is for one block. Is there any way to look at multiple blocks in the display?
Nagaraj, can you please help me in answering that question?
Okay, this is Nagaraj. The question is the display what we are showing. It's only displaying the one block, but can view other blocks, right? So basically, in this case, the DFInsight is supporting to view the DF files which you are operating while you are tracing. So whatever the files you have read to your core is what it's going to display. But if you want to look at other blocks, or if you want to look at other chain of the data, I think we should probably use EU DFM, or there is another product called DF Explorer. But DFInsight only gives you an insight of the data of the files which are currently being read during your transaction execution at that point of time.
Okay, so okay, I get your point, but if the file is chain and the block is, let's say the blocks are detagged, so it's in core, is there a way to go down the chain and look?
Yes, you can. Okay, Naveen, do you have the data? Can you click on the data? Or go back to SUSE. There should be a SW00. There should be a core address there in one of the SUSE field.
Muted.
Can you scroll down? CCA8. Take that core address 12 Baker 6000. Can you double click on that? SW00 Charlie Charlie A8. Current block.
Unmuted.
Here in this case, if you have the forward chain address would be displayed in the first 16 bytes, and you can double click on the chain. Or if you know the DTAG block, right? Suppose you know the blocks are DTAG. Can you click on the ECB window, Naveen? Okay. If there are blocks which are DTAG, here you see all the data levels, right? The DTAG block will be highlighted as a small red box in one of the on these D4 on these data levels. So you can double click on those if there is a DTAG. But in the Xcore window also, can you go back to Xcore window?
Okay, I get it. That's good. As long as you can walk down the chain, the view,
Yes.
the
You
green
have
screen, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, and in this case, in the green screen, there is a forward chain button and a backward chain button. Can you click on the small arrow and the back on the top? No, not next one. On the top. If there is a forward chain address, it will actually pick up that chain and then go and try
good.
to.
That's
And
all
then
you
if it's a
need.
backward, yeah.
Okay, thanks.
But right now, I don't think there is a forward chain because this is a demo program. We don't have so
Right.
much of it.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, that's good.
Thanks, David. So do we have any other questions?
Hi Naveen. Tim Link has a question. Tim Link, you have been unmuted.
Yes, Tim, please go ahead.
Oh,
with your question.
the example you had just a bunch of character data. What if your LRECs have binary data? How do you display your LRECs with the binary content relative to any labels that identify them?
Can you go to the data tab, Naveen? Standard. Okay. Overlay. Okay. So let me repeat the question if I understand. So if there is binary data, so how do you display the data, right? Correct?
Yeah, I mean, the examples, the content you put in the LRECs after the key, it's all character displayable data.
Oh, yeah,
a bunch of
that's
names.
right.
You know,
Yes,
if you got a date value of a binary 2-byte value, you know, followed by a binary flight number, you know.
Muted.
Correct. Yes. There is two ways that you can look at it. Once you highlight the LREC, you can see on the bottom there is the green there's a content displayed on the green on the tab there, which it actually shows you the binary data, the EBCDIC value of it. So if you have a date or anything, you can definitely interpret over there. Or you can we are also working on enhancement, I believe, where we are planning to display the whole data of the LREC completely. So that's the other way of looking at it. Or the third way you can look at it is like you can go back to SUSE and you can double click on that core block address. So it will actually show you the binary data also.
Right. Okay. Do you have anything that okay, so you said showing the whole LREC by LREC, you're still working on that though?
Yes.
Okay.
But right now you can highlight the LREC what you want. I understand your point. Like it's difficult when you have the episodic value to look at it, because, and also the other way, right now you have to highlight the LREC and then go down and look at the data. But that is something that we want to display the whole LREC. And probably this panel will definitely help you. Can you go to that the overlay, Naveen? Even in overlay. So even in this case, if you look at when you click on the overlay, both the content, even the binary is displayed on the left hand side, and the actual character display is on the right hand side. So you can, this is a better way to look at it, because now you're looking at the labels, and you're also looking at in the different keys, and you're looking at both sides. The LREC on the episodic on the left hand, on the binary is on the left hand side, and the character display is on the right hand side. So this way you're looking at the whole chain, and this is much better display in case if you have more binary data.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tim. Yeah, we can go with the next question if you have anything. Chitra, do we have any other question?
No, Naveen.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, ending this webinar. Thank you once again.